It's Cash Color Campus, a high level of conversation live from livehiphopdaily.tv. And I'm getting used to this new setup already. Like my man Herb, shout out to my man Herb. When I say all the time that Cash Color Campus a long time ago stopped being just listeners and things like that. It became family. And Herb is clearly one of my family at this point because he can surprise me when I walk in the door with a new layout. And literally told me, hey, bro, I got a new idea. We're going to move the set over here. All right. He told me 10 minutes beforehand, but I'm getting used to this. This is dope. I feel freer. I feel free. I can move my legs more, man. But as I say, it's Cash Color Campus, high level conversation. I am your host, Mecca King. And I have a good friend in the building tonight, man. You talk about, again, a family member. You have been here since we've been doing this, man. It's my good friend Arica, Can of Shame podcast, writer extraordinaire. She's a lot of different things, but we're going to get into all the different things that she do in a second, man. But before I say this, I actually got to say thank the Lord for me even being here. Some of y'all don't know the things that happened to me over the last 48 hours. But when I went to Boston this last week, right, to go visit my mom's. I went to Boston on Friday. Life was going great. If y'all don't know about Boston, we had Juve was this weekend. It's a carnival weekend.
Okay.
I didn't know it was carnival weekend. I was at my Dominican homie getting my hair cut, and I literally I'm talk real Boston for a second here.
Okay, give it to us. We're here for it.
I'm out here in Codman Square, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of Dominicans outside right now. What the hell going on? I know it's a nice day out, but then I start seeing people getting dressed up, and I say to myself, oh, is it carnival? I was like, all right, so I got to take part in all this. I wanted to have fun, but I didn't want to dip out too much. But anyway, long story short, I had a toothache, so I didn't really want to bother myself too heavy. That toothache turned into a bacteria thing right here. No. My face was swollen up this big Sunday morning when I woke up, to the point where I called the doctor, and they had to prescribe me some antibiotics. And he had told me, he said, I want you to be careful. He said, if that swelling doesn't go down below your eye, because it's almost close to your eye, I need you to go to the ER immediately. He said, because if it goes any closer to your eye, it can go into your brain, and then you're dead. Straight up like that. So he gave me the antibiotics. Now, after he gave me this scary-ass story, he gave me the antibiotics. So I'm sitting in my bed in Mattapan, was like trying to make sure this medicine is working. I slowly saw my face go down. Yeah. The next thing he told me was, I'm kind of nervous about you getting on this flight. He said, I kind of need you to stay in Boston for a couple of days until this all the way go down, because you don't want to be stuck in the plane and all this happen. I'm like, but I'd much rather be not here if all that happens. Not saying Boston's my home, but I'd much rather be where my actual doctor is and all this other stuff. So I get down here, and actually last couple of days it's been going down, but I'm still in so much pain. But the thing I did not want to do was cancel the show tonight, because Arica, I definitely wanted to have you on. Aww. Second, I wanted to show y'all something I've been working on that's a dedication to everybody who's been a supporter of the show. And also, it's just the thing that I love doing. And I just wanted to let y'all know how much I love doing Cash Color Cannabis, is that rain, sleet, or snow, I want to provide y'all a high level of conversation in a way that I feel like only we can do for each other. Yeah. So I just want to give y'all that heads up, man. Really, I almost wasn't here. Shout out to Boston, though, man. You gave me a good time. I really wish I could have took part in Carnival. Carnival's amazing if you've ever been up north. Boston, New York, D.C., Carnival life is way different. Way different. It's a lot of dancing, it's a lot of music, it's a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, I should have knew it was Carnival weekend when I woke up and saw the news on Saturday, and that during the setup of Carnival, 8 people got shot. And I was like, you should have knew right then it was Carnival. Like,
is that like the standard?
I hate to say it, but I've been going to Carnival since I've been in high school, and probably every single year.
Wow.
I've been involved in some situation where you hear gunshots and a bunch of people running.
During the setup?
Oh, yeah, during the actual event. Okay. I'm talking about during the parade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of people together and a lot of weed in the air, a lot of alcohol, a lot of movement around. You dancing on the wrong person, next thing you know, there's a whole brawl going on, man. But not to downplay it. If you ever get a chance, go to Juve. But like
it's going to be a great time.
It is going to be a great time, man. But like I said, I got my girl Arica on here. Arica, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me.
No problem. You know what, Arica, you've been one of my biggest encouragers since I've been doing Cash Color Cannabis. That's on everything. Like back when we was doing the Atlanta City Market up at Urban City Market. To the first time you walked up in here and you grabbed my hand and said, I'm a journalist. If you ever need help on the website, I got you.
Oh.
And I remember giving you a story on that website, man. Yeah, you've been gang ever since then, man.
Man, let me tell you something. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you your amazing bouquet of flowers because, so y'all, when I don't know if you remember this, but it was 2019 and I was just kind of getting into the cannabis scene out here, and I somehow ran into your podcast, and I reached out to you on Instagram because I thought you were from Texas. You were at South by Southwest with the Pimp C barbecue sauce.
Oh, people don't know our story. Yeah, South by Southwest, No Sticks, No Seeds show. Rest in peace, Bankroll Fresh. Bankroll's supposed to be the headliner. He actually lost his life prior to us doing the show.
Wow.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the Bankroll. It was him and, matter of fact, him and Lucci.
Wow.
Were the headliners.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. See? But you had Pimp C's wife.
Yes.
You interviewed Pimp C's wife. And it was so Texas. I was like, he got to be from Texas. I'm going to reach out to him. And I was like, are you in Texas? On Instagram. So don't knock the DMs. But it wasn't like that. And he was like, I'm in Atlanta. Come by the podcast. So I'm thinking, a podcast in person, where they smoking, with a person who like they from Texas. Oh my God.
Who's from Boston?
Who's from Boston? Okay, so truly, before the cameras turned on, I was like, I never knew Mecca was from Boston. I often forget he's from Boston because he is so Southern. He is so Texas, Atlanta, like, it's just all of that. He loves Southern music. I think your wife from the South, right?
She from Texas. She from Houston. Yeah.
That part.
I got an H-Town hottie.
Yeah. So, and you have just opened up your space to like so many people, and so many people have been on this platform, and you have influenced so many of us, not only in the Atlanta cannabis community, but in the cannabis community around the world, because I know you got some listeners that are international as well.
At this point, yeah, we do
so
actually.
I just, you are thebomb.com. I thank you for being so cool, so generous, so open, for giving me an opportunity. You basically interviewed all my friends.
So it's about time we had you on.
So I just thank you. You're amazing. And you're amazing at what you do. Lil Wayne cover story, Hold Up. I don't know if y'all remember your shit. Yeah. We seen it Times Square. So it's just, you are phenomenal. You give journalism a great name in an age of sensationalism.
You touching my heart. I appreciate the flowers. Thank you so much, man. I'm gonna collect all those flowers together too, man. Thank you so much, though. I really appreciate that.
I mean it.
Yeah, especially for somebody who's been watching this from the outside looking in. So you definitely have a different perspective. But today's about you. It's not about me. And I don't want to pour it on about myself. Arica, for those who don't know, speak to us about what you do and how you got into the cannabis space.
Okay. So now I do quite a few things, and people have known me over the years to do quite a few things, but I primarily at this time work in project management and business consulting, but that's been an evolution. Again, I've done social media, marketing, branding, events, venue management. I be out here getting to the money for real. But how I got to the cannabis space was super cool, and I love this story, and I can't wait till my mom sees this because she's a big part of it. So I have been like a consumer for a long time, for many years, and always was able to maneuver under the radar. It was cool. When I found out about cannabis and sports in college, it was amazing. That's what I started. I used to play basketball, and
can you still play?
I probably could, but I need to stretch.
That's me.
I need to do like a couple of laps, and then I really need to start off with half court. And okay, so
that's my story.
It's a bunch of caveats to this.
Yeah, exactly. So, girl, my knees don't work the same as they used to work.
Oh no, it's a lot of standstill jumping. What did? Oh man, I can't believe it. It's not jumpers, but the Come on, y'all, help me out.
I'm sorry.
Not-
I just saw somebody walk in who I'm like, oh my God. Nicole's girl, going to the building.
Yep. Oh man, but bring them out. Bring them out. I love it. Family. You know,
Yeah,
Lala's
right?
in the building. Stanley in the building.
Oh my gosh,
Yolanda
Nicole
in the
came
building.
My heart is crying right now. Especially after I show what I'm about to show later, man. Yeah, my heart is crying. Go ahead,
Oh,
though.
you didn't know.
She didn't know.
No, you didn't know she was coming.
Oh, I knew she was coming. She don't know what I'm about to show.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But hey,
Okay,
Nicole's
we're
over
sorry,
there. Nicole's
sorry.
over there. We're right there.
Well, it's all love. It's all love.
Yeah.
So, anyway, in 2017, my mom, I don't know if she knew I was consuming at the time or what, but she gave me an article.
Mhm.
Like, you know what? I think you might want to check out the cannabis industry. I think this might be for you. Okay? And I was like, at first I didn't know how to take it. Like, oh my God, you know, I thought I was keeping this a secret. I don't know if she knows.
Did she smell it on you?
I have no idea. It was 2017. At this point, I was a good, 8, 9 years in. I don't know. Nobody ever brought it to my attention. So I thought I was doing a good job hiding it, but y'all know how that goes.
Child, please.
When the people go on on the family walk right fast and the young folks hanging out outside and
I thought I was hiding it pretty well from my mom until one day she just confronted me and say, "Is this why you come in my house and eat up all my chicken in the middle of the night? Like, is this what y'all call it, the munchies?" I thought I was hiding it, so no, it's not.
So I don't know, but like I said, she never said anything. Nobody in the family has ever said anything, and so she basically handed me an article about a lady in Colorado who was making it big in the cannabis industry, and she was a part of Women Grow, and that was like the first year that Women Grow had their event in Denver, and she was like, you might want to check this out. And so I started doing research, and I was like, okay, well, I'm kind of already in the space, this might work out.
Yeah.
And just started doing research. I was out here in Atlanta, and I guess I ended up hooking up with this dude who had a magazine. And so I started writing for Black Marijuana Magazine and started going to conferences and started meeting people, and that was cool. And that ended up not working out. And then really at April, this really when it changed. In April of 2019, I met Dr. Yolanda Henderson, because she from Dallas, Texas. Shout out to 214 D-Town, stay down. Y'all know how we do. So I met Dr. Yolanda Henderson. I met you on that Tuesday. We went to the Capitol on that Wednesday. That Thursday was 420, and that's when I met Tiana.
That's a wild couple of days.
But I met Stanley at the Capitol for the first time that day too, when me and Dr. Yolanda went. And again, I don't even remember. I think I just reached out to her because I wanted to start getting more into advocacy, because that's a big part of what I do and what I believe in. Like, we have to free the plant, and we have to free all our people that have been locked up and that are still getting charges for this plant. Like,
yes.
we have to keep fighting. We have to. So I hadn't quite gotten to advocacy, and I was like, I need to find somebody who's going to the Capitol because I know they doing this. Boom, found Dr. Yolanda. And like I said, that same Wednesday, I met Stanley for the first time. And that Thursday, I met Tiana and Zim. And it was on and popping since then, you know what I'm saying? Between CashColorCannabis and then the Hemp House and Women Grow, Atlanta, and all those. That's when I meet Lala,
Yeah.
right? Normal Women of Georgia, you know what I'm saying? And I don't remember what it's called back then, La, but you know what I'm saying? It wound up being Normal Women of Georgia. But that's when I met La. She was the deputy director. And then, so I met Yolanda and Angie for the first time at an event at y'all remember when the Georgia Commission, when we all had to go out to the country? You remember? I don't remember it was out far in the country. It was in like that.
Was this Dr. Uma's house? Like,
No. It was at a building, like a state building, a city building. We was like in the country, somewhere we don't go.
So
Y'all remember? Yo, you remember?
lights down city.
Man, that part. And that's when, like, that was like the first commission meeting in person or something, because it was after COVID. No, this is pre-COVID. Yeah. It was one of the first or second commission meetings, like in Douglasville or something, but in the sticks. But anyway, that's when I met Yolanda and Angie. And so everybody just played such an amazing, they were so into cannabis, and you know, it was so much about healing, and it was so much about advocacy and freeing people. And I was like, I found my tribe. Let's get this money.
That's amazing.
Let's free these people and let's get this money.
That's amazing, man. You know, it's also a testament to how cannabis actually brings together people on different levels. You know, it's kind of sad to watch how much cannabis also is torn apart because how much money could be made. You know, that I feel like since we started this, we're in 2023 now, that we've watched it go from the advocacy part so strong. Like you said, I remember meeting Stanley's and all of them and being at the state capitol. It was strictly about advocacy. And now the conversation is so much more about who can monetize what at this point, that, you know, we done jumped the whole conversation at this point, I feel like, in a lot of ways.
Well, a couple of things. I think people are finding their lane.
Yeah.
Right? I think before, you know, in 2017, when I think, Stanley, that's when you started going up there in 2017, 2016, you know, I think that was the primary avenue, because it was like, okay, what can we do? Yeah. How can we push this forward? And it was like, okay, we know we have to change legislation, right? And so, you know, I think that was the heavy lane. And then, okay, the bill got passed for medical marijuana in Georgia, right? I know y'all know the number, somebody shouted out. Okay. And so
HB7.
Come on. So we know. So that was passed, and people.
It's the numbers that throw me off all the time. I'm like, which house bill is
this? You know, and that's not my lane. Yeah. And so that's a thing. So working with people who are passionate about this and who know those numbers and read those bills, people like, shout out Chris Brown.
Oh, okay, Chris Brown, read them bills.
Read them bills. You understand? Like, that's not my lane. But I want to be able to do whatever I can to support everybody and who's at whatever lane they're in. So, and then, okay, right? So now we're kind of people getting into their lanes, and then you hear about how, especially in Georgia, you know, other people kind of finagling trying to get their money. Mm-hmm. They not worried about advocacy. They not worried about healing people. They not worried about, you know, anything we doing. They finagling behind the scenes amongst each other, trying to lock us up while they trying to get the bread. So we like, okay, well, what we not gonna do is be left behind. We can play the double game too. We can advocate and we can talk about getting this money. So it's not just. And then as the states come on board with legalization, it's like, and we're seeing the numbers. We're seeing what Illinois is doing. We're seeing what Louisiana is doing, right? Even, well, I'm not gonna mention them, but we see what some of the states are doing and I heard they going bananas in New York City.
Oh, you got to read CashColorCannabis magazine. Shout out my interview with Chris Alexander.
You know, like it's going up, and Georgia is being left behind. So I think once enough people understood about the finagle, it started being like, okay, let's start having conversations about what we can do outside of what they're trying to finagle, right? We understand in Georgia it's going to be only, I think, 24 licenses, right? That's where they're at. That's it. Like, that's what they're doing. And we know it's shady business. Yeah. So we, as a collective, as a community, we have to figure out other things to do. Because we're not going to miss this bag because y'all are finagling, cheating, and lying, and scamming. We're not going to miss it.
No, and you know what? And I was about to say, I was going to name some of the companies, and I was about to say, I don't want to cut my nose off to spite my face. Right. But in the words of my good friend Alexis Harris, man, Hollywood.
Come on.
You got to know the people. You know what I mean? And you got to make sure that not just you in the room, you got to know the people in the room in order for you to succeed overall. And I could almost hear her saying, Mecca, don't slight yourself. You know these people. You've been in these rooms. You know these people who, you know these names. Yeah. It's perfectly fine that you don't agree with them, but you need to know who they are, man.
And it's the collective, you know what I'm saying? Again, Alexis has a very specific skill set,
Yeah.
right? Her father, shout out Coach, we just had him on the show a couple weeks ago. Very specific skill set. And that's why the collective is important. Because while you have them doing exactly what they are good at, you're working on media, you're amazing at it. You know, storytelling, you're working on that. Stanley out here saving lives. Lala producing nutrients for us all. You know, we're doing the advocacy work with CannAshame, trying to eradicate the stigma of cannabis usage. You know, that's what our advocacy work is. So when we all come together, as individual hands, but you come together and you strike a mighty blow.
It's the Voltron effect.
I don't even remember what movie that's from, but I remember that's from a movie.
Soul Food.
Is that what it is?
Isn't that Soul Food? That's Soul Food.
And you strike, yes ma'am, we come together and we strike a mighty blow. And that's super deep because the pinky ain't never trying to be the thumb. The middle finger is happy being the villain.
Yeah.
It ain't never trying to be the thumb.
Yeah.
And the more we get into that, the more we're gonna move forward.
I'm leaning into my middle finger era. I believe. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm leaning into the middle finger era right now in my life, man. But it's dope to hear your journey, because I knew, again, like I've been familiar with you for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I knew your story, but it was good for you to share that it was a journey for you, man. To the
Still
point now where you have your own platform with CannAshame, and you're away from just having to be a journalist and a freelancer for other people.
Yep. So CannAshame podcast, man, the awesome ladies of GMCS, Georgia Cannabis Medical Society. I mean, they're phenomenal, right? They're both patient advocates, and you know, I think they already had the concept of stomping out the stigma, right?
Yep.
And so, again, everybody's kind of growing and developing their business at this time. And so I believe they reached out to Tiana. Shout out Tiana Smith, you know, Hemp House. Like I said.
So she's flying around the country somewhere.
Flying around the country now. Okay. Yes. Phenomenal, you know. That's my partner. And so they reached out to, or I don't remember how their conversation, because I believe they already had a relationship.
Yeah.
Yolanda and Angela and Tiana, again, as patient advocates and going to the Capitol and all that kind of stuff. And so with me and Tiana being business partners, she was like, you know who I think would be good with this?
Who?
Arica.
Oh, look, I thought you was asking me. I was like, who?
Nope. But that was perfect, though. I mean, it was phenomenal. You were right on cue. I love it. And so we developed the CannAshame podcast, and it was all about telling stories about people who have been shamed for cannabis usage in various ways. Jailed, discarded by their family, and not only that, also people who were living in shame and living in, as we said, the closet, because they were afraid of being stigmatized for using a plant that our bodies are designed to utilize and that is helping them show up every day.
Yeah.
And so it's been super powerful. We're in season 3. Oh, then we developed the CannAshame network because, you know, we wanted to create a larger platform to have more conversations, right? So Yo has her Yo rants where, you know, she be going off because I'm gonna give her flowers too. She said no, but she can't stop me because she over there. So Yolanda, Herbal Trucker, she,
man.
Yeah, you know, she like super passionate, man, super for the people. Started GMCS with Angela, and they have just been about the people. And she's also extremely knowledgeable about what's going on in the government piece. She's my pipeline to what's going on with the bill. She does that for fun. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, I said it. She does it for fun. So I was just like, she's amazing. And I appreciate you, Yo. I appreciate you. I forgot where I was going.
She definitely gave y'all a great platform. Like, who are some of the guests we've been on? Because I know most recently I did see Coach, and I know Coach was a handful of an interview. I love Coach.
Let me tell you something.
But you get Coach in front of a mic. You get Coach in front of a mic. That's happening.
So for people who are not in journalism, I used to be a journalist.
Still are. Don't say
okay,
used
okay,
to. That's not something you just get rid of.
Okay. So as a journalist,
yes,
for all the other journalists out there,
yes,
you know, you go in with your list of questions that are gonna kind of, you know, guide the person into, you know.
I already know where this is going.
Oh man,
Coach said, "Fuck this shit."
We don't need no questions. Coach, how you doing? And when I tell you, the man went hard for 2 hours. I'm talking about platinum jewels. Y'all need to check out the interview. It was amazing. You know he gonna talk that talk and tell that truth.
Coach is amazing. Like, I remember the first day I met Coach, I was actually shouting my boy Danny. I was with Danny Digital, and Coach talked so long, I actually had to figure out a way for us to get out this house. Because I was like, Coach about to keep us here. Yeah, Coach. Man, Hollywood talk, when Coach start cooking, figure out a way, because now y'all staying. Now y'all staying.
And
when
the
Coach
rotation
said,
is continuing.
When Coach started saying, "So what y'all like eating?" I was like, "All right, we gotta figure out a way to get up out of here because Coach about to keep us here. He is definitely into this story. He done gave us books."
I'm telling you, like it was phenomenal. But again, the passion, I love it. From day one, he's never been anybody else besides Coach Harris. And I respect that. I respect people who are A1 from day one. And Coach has always been that. How I met Coach was at your podcast at Atlanta City Market. And Alexis was being interviewed, first time I met her, and he was trying to get the camera to live stream on like Facebook or social media or whatever, and he couldn't quite get it, and I was just like, let me help you.
Well, that sound like Coach too.
And so I grabbed it and we live streamed Alexis, and that was the first time, and it, you know, it's been good ever since. So we've had Coach, we've had Michael Lawson Jr. Oh man.
Big shout out to Michael.
That part, Michael is amazing, working with Morehouse School of Medicine, dealing with the mind. Again, everybody has their lane.
Cannabis Literacy Club, man. Shout out to Mike and them, man. Morehouse students.
Come on. We all trying to get involved.
Oh, we're going to get into one day how Morehouse, man, one day y'all got to bring CashColorCannabis to the stage, man, because I done had so many of your students.
Yeah.
So many of your alumni on this show.
Yeah, you got to definitely bring it live, man. It's like, Morehouse, stop playing. Y'all have a school of medicine. I heard it's a little bit, they're a little shamed. They're like offering the cannabis master's class, but they're not like promoting it. They're a little like stigmatized.
I'm very confident that Mike, Justin, they're gonna get that together.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm very confident they're gonna bring that conversation to the house.
Yes. Yeah, phenomenal. And then we had Daniel this year as well. He's deep in the sales.
Oh, Kyle.
That's what I say. Daniel.
Yeah.
You know what's messed up? I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not, cause you know, social ain't everything for the camera. Kyle.
Is it the weed?
A little bit. But I'm just not one to blame anything on this beautiful plant. I don't ever want to get it misconstrued. Okay, it's user error at all times.
Shout out to my boy Kyle Daniels.
See? Yeah. Kyle Daniels. Yeah. I was close. It was just a little backwards.
Shout out to Kyle.
Shout out to Kyle. And again, extremely knowledgeable. One thing all of these gentlemen have in common is that they're extremely knowledgeable and extremely passionate.
Yeah.
And they want to help our community. They want to push us forward in the various industries and lanes that they're in. But the first 2 seasons, when it was like rough cut shouty out here, we had some amazing guests. We had the CEO of the company in Virginia, the nonprofit, Tamara. 404-757, shout out to them. We had the dude who had been locked up. I mean, it's like unfortunate. Sorry,
We're
you
gonna have
guys.
Becca on the show. Like y'all got a lot of people coming on.
I mean, anytime you ready, we are ready to have you. Okay, so
I don't got 2 hours in me though. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I'm not
Look,
coach. I don't got 2 hours of a conversation about anything in me. Like after a certain time, I'm the person who says tap out.
You couldn't
like,
talk 2 hours on music, on hip hop.
I could. I almost did a couple of days ago because my whole distaste for drill music
Yeah.
almost became 2 hours long. 'Cause I
Yeah.
was like, I'm about tired of hearing y'all talk about Sexy Red and Sukihana when I'm literally listening to rappers talk about killing each other then doing it.
What about the international trap? Like, again, kind of moving, because it all is about culture, right?
Yeah.
This hip hop has touched every corner of the globe. We are the influence. People who are hip hop, we are.
Right now, it's a dangerous vibration, though, man, because it's
Yeah.
vibrating across the world, like
man,
you said. But
international drill music is crazy.
it's a dangerous vibration because again,
Yes.
it's not like me coming up. Like I hate to give y'all my age, but hip hop ain't that much
Come on.
ain't that much older than
We
me.
just celebrated 50
I've
years.
heard literally almost everything possible. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And not at one point have I ever heard music where I thought to myself, these dudes about to do this. And
Yeah.
then they actually do it. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody reminded me when I was back home, because we was having this drill conversation. They say, yo, bro, there was a drill artist in Boston who literally went to a cemetery and pulled up his op's grandmother's headstone.
Crazy.
And brought it to the projects.
Crazy.
And I was like, yo, but we talking about Sukihana? Like, bro, what are these
Crazy.
young men out here doing that is like, we're not disgusting?
What happened to the line of disrespect? See, don't get me on my soapbox about whatever you can say about 90s hip hop. And I'm talking about, in my personal opinion, 90s hip hop had 3 eras within the 90s. You know what I'm saying? It was like 90 to 93, 93 to 97,
Oh, facts.
and then 97, 98 to the 99, 2000.
I got what you're saying.
You know what I'm
I dig
saying?
what you're saying,
And I just feel like even what they was talking crazy and, talking about their life and their experience, it was still a level of respect. It was a line of respect. I don't understand how these kids don't have any respect. Like, where is the line? There was a code that even if you wasn't in the streets and living street life and talking about some code, there was a code in our community, whether y'all remember or not. You need to talk to somebody about what was going on before crack hit our community, because there was a code we was living by. It didn't have nothing to do with hip hop music or being locked up. You understand? Man. So we used to live by a code, and then it's like, these kids don't have no code. And then it's like, I understand how you have to go kill somebody when they pulled up your grandmother's grave. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but at the same time, it's a vicious cycle. And like you said, it's a dangerous vibration.
It's a very dangerous one.
It is unfortunate that, again, I mean, not to bring it back to cannabis, but we talking about ownership. Who own it? Because I promise, I feel like if certain people own, whatever they need, the distribution channels or the production studio or wherever the buck need to damn stop, I feel like that buck would stop.
I feel like at one point you need to have somebody for real be like, I'm not playing this. And say it's not censorship, it's me keeping you alive. You know what I'm saying? At some point, it's got to be that. Because when I look on it, it's also a social media thing. When you talk about where's the line at, I was more blown away on Saturday. I'm back in my hometown. I'm going through TikTok. And again, we going through this drill thing, and I'm so blown away. So I'm just kind of going through this timeline, and I'm watching, like you say, civilians. Like I remember I grew up in the hood. I grew up around a bunch of shit. I knew what I wasn't going to do. I knew I was a civilian. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to jump into this conversation.
Yeah.
You got people now on TikTok doing stat sheets, like which crew got more bodies and who got more counts going. Dead ass. And you doing this on TikTok. I'm like, yo, where are we vibrating at this point where y'all think that women talking about their bodies is more important than you talking about this? Because you've heard this conversation, Betty Wright, like you've heard these singers before. Why are you so disturbed about this chick when I'm watching young men out here do some stuff where they're rapping about then doing, and y'all are saying, well, it's just gangster music. It's far from that, bro. Not to get on my high horse, but that's been a thing that's been on my heart, man. Like somebody at some point got to start pulling these kids together about that.
Where is sis? And like, again, showing our age, right? But I remember, again, showing our age, when they was mad with Snoop and them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When they was taking that shit to court,
Yeah.
when Luke couldn't perform and was getting locked up.
Yeah.
Like, I was a kid, but I was a hip hop head, so I remember that happening, right? So I'm thankful that's not happening, and I respect the speech, but it's like, where's the level of respect? Like, and it's a slippery slope, and that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a slippery slope, and now we have lived long enough, and hip hop has been influential long enough where everybody's trying to be edgier and edgier, which is the nature of a lot of music, you know, not just hip hop, rock music and all that kind of stuff. They had their own thing. Country music, the dude was like, I'm hanging niggas in small towns.
Yeah,
that was
man.
pretty edgy.
All
you know what I'm
all that's
saying?
edgy, and I always say this. I don't care what y'all doing. Like, I'm talking about my peoples. You know what I'm saying, at this
Yeah.
point. And when I watch my folks basically cannibalize themselves on
Yeah.
purpose at this point, and you're doing it for such little money, because
Yeah.
you don't have label deals. Y'all doing
Right.
this for social media money at this
Yep.
point. You're doing it for
streams.
pennies. You're doing this
Yeah.
for absolute likes at this point.
Yeah.
Like, your life is more than a like. And I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole right now with y'all, because, again, we talking about can of shit. But that
it's
has been on
important
my
conversation.
yeah, that's been on my heart since I touched down in Boston.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's a lot of that, and from the speed of the music to the
Everything.
to the beats to the fact that they even added a dance. Somebody told me, said, bro, you start looking at the dances, this shit's turned into a ritual.
Yeah.
like it's turned into some real, like, you got to dig into what you're
Yes.
watching and seeing in real time in these streets.
And if the concept of what this gentleman is too deep for you to grasp at this moment, I would recommend Who Cloned Tyrone. And that will kind of give you a wide open beginning perspective of what's happening to you.
Yeah, man, watch your chicken y'all eating.
All of that. All of that. I mean, you know, I ain't gonna get on the vegan soapbox because I'm not vegan, but respect.
But just in general, you know what I'm saying? Watch what you're
your-
consuming.
in your ear gates and your eye gates.
Yeah, watch what you're consuming,
and in your
man.
mouth.
Even in this conversation, watch what you're consuming. Period.
Yes.
Period. Point blank. Because one thing I want to also advocate, because I do, you know, I'm watching the time, and I know I want to keep true. I definitely want you to let people know how they can get up with Can of Shame, how they can learn more
Yes.
about the podcast, because we're gonna do this all over again. Because I really don't want to go down this timeline, this thing about drill, but that is legitimately how I felt. I don't
Yeah.
ever want to feel like I'm gonna get to the point where I'm censoring music that I grew up loving.
Yes.
But at some point, you gotta throw a flag and be like, "But I want you to live."
Is it the music that you grew up loving, though?
This is still the music I grew up loving. This is
Okay.
still the culture I grew up loving, which is why
Okay.
I care. You know what I'm saying? Which
Okay.
is why, if it wasn't, I would have been like, "Hey, do what y'all feel like doing."
Yeah.
But I honestly care, because the way y'all are vibrating this and the way y'all are influencing this, you could take that to influence a whole lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not just rap about how many times you just dropped the other people's people down the street,
Yeah.
and then you wake up and 10 minutes later, it's another thing happening. Like, the hell is you
Mm-hmm.
doing to yourselves, man? But anyway, we're gonna talk about that another day. I might
I'm
do
excited.
that.
I love it.
You know, I might add that to the magazine next month, man. We talk about hip hop. Like,
Yeah.
what are we
doing
here?
What are we doing?
Yeah. Long story short, what are we doing here?
Which
man?
I think is not for nothing why, you know, 90s hip hop is still making a lot of money, and like people are still listening to these artists.
It goes back to, the shit y'all listening to, nobody wants to go buy. Like, you're making this. This is now social
they're not
media
from
money.
that era,
This
you
is
know.
social media money you're making, which means you're doing this for pennies. like you're
But
doing
where's
this for nothing.
I think the thing that we're talking about simultaneously is value.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lack of value in the life. There's a lack of value in the music. You know what I was thinking about? Tell me the last classic. Tell me the last hip hop classic.
Child, you couldn't tell somebody the last hit record until
Come on.
the last. Well, yeah, who? I mean,
Like,
it,
we don't-
It was Uzi Vert. Like, nobody. You almost couldn't tell you who
Kinda.
even had a #1 record in our genre
Like,
until he dropped an album. You almost couldn't tell somebody that in a whole entire year. I haven't seen that since I was like in 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? Like, be for real. Like that's like
right
me
before
in
Ja Rule
elementary.
came out. Like, right before Ja Rule came out, it was like super bad. And
It's
that's why he
crazy.
blew up.
It's
So
crazy.
that was like-
It's crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy. Again, kids, man. Like, look,
Yeah.
they're not even kids, because at this point, some of y'all are pushing 25, which means you're gonna be 30 soon. So you're not even kids. So like, let's be for real. I need y'all to start valuing your actual life.
Value your music.
Yeah, man.
Value, you know, where you're who you're working with.
Yeah.
Like, there's a there's a lack of value, period.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what we're dealing with.
But I appreciate you for bringing that part up, man. But
I'm
also,
with it.
again, go back to Can of Shame. Let us know how we can find that show, because I do want to show y'all something I've been working on, and it's so dope
Yes.
that Nicole and Danny and Joe are all here because they took so much part in the little clip that we just made.
Aww.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys can find us on YouTube. That is where all our episodes are. Can of Shame Network, and then we stream. We live stream every third Sunday. Y'all can catch us live on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, sometimes Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram at Can of Shame Network. That's CANNANEWORK. Huh? It's at right on Instagram. It's at Can of Shame. I just spelled it, so boom. And yeah, we're pretty. And then catch us out. We do events.
Yeah.
We show up. We're out in the streets. If you want somebody to record your event, do a little media, we're here for that as well. We're just trying to again eradicate the stigma. So wherever we can do that, y'all find us. We are out there doing that. Did I miss something? Oh, should I tell? I need to tell what? Oh yes. Okay. Yes. What? So we are having, I just want everybody to know, we're having the 3rd annual Can of Shame Awareness Day.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and talk about that.
Yep. So it was Yolanda's concept to start Can of Shame Awareness Day, which is the day that the Marijuana Tax Act in 1937 was officially made law. And so and that was October 1st, I believe was the day. And what it did was it essentially made hemp and cannabis of all types so expensive through tax that, most people couldn't afford it. Most of the people in the industry were wiped out. And then through propaganda, and we know, again, a corrupt situation, people were getting arrested for possession, and then it started becoming stigmatized. And so Yolanda came up with the phenomenal concept to how are we going to work to continue to destigmatize this plant? Well, what we need to do is we need to piss on that bill, and we need to say, hey, this was all a ploy. This wasn't about anything about the plant not being good for you. This is not anything about what they've been telling us for the last 50, 60 years. And so we again, in line with Canning the Shame through Can of Shame, we are having Can of Shame Awareness Day. It's Sunday, October 1st. We are having a day party. The party is from 2 to 8. And we have comedians, and really what we want, so we started this new campaign where we want y'all to tell us your stories. Was there a time that you've been shamed, lost your job, your parents talked to you crazy, or were you the shamer? And if you're the shamer, police, clergy, just a regular civilian, and you understand and change your mind, and you want to tell your story, but you don't want to be on camera, we will protect your anonymity. But we want y'all to start sharing y'all stories. So on that day, we want people to sign up to actually tell their story
I love that.
about how they've been shamed. We're going to shoot the podcast live. We're going to have good food, good drinks. It's the community. Y'all come out and the community will be out. I want all the team there, all the homies there, and anybody who hears this voice. So y'all can go to canofshame.com. Do I have to still say www? Is that like a thing?
You can. Some people still got to type it all the way.
canofshame.com, and you'll be able to get tickets there. It'll take you to Eventbrite, or you can go straight to Eventbrite and get your tickets there. We have early bird tickets till September 8th or 10th or something like that, which they're only $10.01. See, we did that? $10.01 to commemorate the day. So y'all get y'all tickets. Y'all pull up on us. I say this every year. Y'all know if I'm there, y'all know what it is. So come through, come celebrate with us, and help us can the shame.
I like
That's
that.
we have a little hand signal. Y'all can do that to us. We're canning the shame. Yes.
Erica, you are amazing. I appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
through. I
Thank you
appreciate
for
you
having
also
me.
helping me dive through this whole hip hop thing that's been on my chest.
I
If you
love
can't,
it.
if you didn't notice it,
I
that's
love
been
it.
on me, man.
It's therapeutic, you know.
It is,
You got to
man.
get it out. You care about your people. You care about the culture that you're a part of, and you care about the future of it. And I love your passion, and that's why you've been so successful, because you do all of this and move with a passion. And we love it. Never change. Don't stop.
I'm taking those flowers. It's Cash Color Campus, a high level of conversation, live hiphopdaily.tv. We out. Appreciate you, man.